day. Yeah. What we do today. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to make a way, trying to make it out. I don't wanna sell my soul or others around. I just wanna make a way so my mama know she ain't gotta ask nobody for no dough. Welcome back to another episode of Road to William. We're getting right into it today. Thanks for tuning in for my daily drop. I know the last video I talked about a snippet of Agenda 47. I know we've talked about in the past Project 2025 and, the future could look like with Trump in office. And today we're gonna focus a little bit more on or highlight some things that's in the Agenda 47. This is on Donald Trump's site. We're just gonna highlight a few things and get right into the video. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Before we get into anything though, have y'all heard the new Kendrick? I have. I might do a review on it on this channel, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next. I'm gonna be attempting to do more vlogs, so sit tight for that. But yeah, let's dive into it. President Trump's 20 core promises to make America great again. Let me know if you've researched more into this. What have you found? What are your thoughts on it? Let's get into it. We're just gonna go over it now. Okay. Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history, end inflation and make America affordable again, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower, large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America. End the weaponization of government against the American people. Stop the migrant crime epidemic. Demolish the foreign drug cartels. Crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., make them feel safe, clean, and beautiful again, strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age, cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children, keep men out of women's sports, deport pro-Hamas radicals, and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again, secure our selections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. So that's just a highlight of Agenda 47. A lot of this is contradicting. A lot of this is really fighting itself because this is my thoughts, my opinions. So I'm gonna just go through it like this. It's conflicting itself because you want freedom of speech and whatnot, but what the students were doing on those college campuses this year, this summer, was using their freedom of speech, and they were met with violence. I mean, we saw it live. I don't know what y'all was doing that night or that week or whatever, but or that month or summer, but like I said before, I had people I know who was on those front lines fighting, saying free Palestine, people getting up early, staying late, tents set up to protest, to speak out, to help save lives across the country, which affects us because look at now what they're doing here. People kept saying it's going to affect us, it's going to affect us, the stuff over there affects us here. Nina Turner said that a while ago, way back before the protests. She said that. I mean, people have always said that. It's now hitting more home, closer to home, and that's the only way people really learn, I think. If we would have got Kamala in office or whatever, and it would have been the same old saying, all right, cool, thanks y'all. They think no one's being reached out to no one's reaching out to the black community or the queer community or whatever, but it would have been the same thing. Like use you, pass you on. Today, y'all focus on deporting people. They thought what? People thought if I voted for him that what he would take it easy on people. Like I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And people say money, what money? The military thing, they're trying to be the strongest military in the world. And so then who do you look at your I would like to know more about the crush gang violence, rebuild our cities. I would like to know more about that, making them feel safe, clean, and beautiful again. The military thing isn't just for outside of this country, it's for inside as well. So when they say strengthen the military, even though police are not on this list, like they're included in that statement. The closest thing they've talked about healthcare wise is Medicare and trans people. It's like we want to strip away we want to strip away rights for some people, but not all. We want to take care of the minorities to an extent. 2028 is all I'll say. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory. So history's out. Bet. You gotta even look at science to a degree. The way people teach will be different. And I feel like it's up to the schools to creatively figure that out. And they have to ask the teachers because they're the ones who's in that room every day. 17 really means keeping trans women out of women's sports. But trans women are women, so then what are we talking about? I think people just need to keep on it with that. I don't think we shy away from anything. I think we face it head on. What are we looking at? What are we saying? And to anybody saying free Palestine or whatnot, they're trying to scare people. It wasn't just students on that campus, teachers, all sorts of people on there, peacefully protesting and were attacked with violence. A patriotic campus. It sounds terrifying. Let me keep it a being. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The voting, they want to tamper with voting in so many words. All of this is subliminal. They're trying to keep it general as possible so they can hit anybody, you know, keep it as an umbrella because, yeah, that could fall under that too. They want to bring new record levels of success. And what is success without the people? People keep making all sorts of movies, different products, videos, what have you. But if you take people out of that equation, what do you have? Let me know what your thoughts on this Agenda 47. Go check out Ion's Nomadic Van Life. I gotta catch up. Cuzzo, I'll be balling. I like watching MSNBC with Joy Reid. Everybody on MSNBC is pretty dope, the ones I've seen, but Joy Reid really be.
Past 2 weeks, the women of America have been forced to witness not only an adjudicated sexual abuser be elected president, but then to see him offer some of the highest positions in government to men who have faced accusations of their own. As the New York Times points out, Trump has selected a defense secretary, an attorney general, a secretary of health and human services, and an efficiency czar, all of whom have been accused of variations of sexual misconduct and, like the president-elect, deny them. This is only added to the pain and fear that a lot of women have already been feeling in the aftermath of the election, on top of facing an onslaught of online abuse and harassment, with phrases like, "your body, my choice," and "get back to the kitchen" surging across social media. And with so much still unknown, you probably have a lot of questions about what a second Trump administration will mean for women, what it will mean for access to basic reproductive care, to birth control, IVF, even no-fault divorce, and how to best protect yourselves through all of it. Well, on this show, we want to provide you with the best possible information so that you are prepared to navigate whatever comes your way. And to help us do that, joining me now is Maya Wiley, president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. My good friend, thank you so much for being here. So let's just go through these in some sort of order. I think the first question a lot of people are asking is, should women right now be, number one, deleting that health app that tracks your periods and stockpiling things like Plan B and even birth control pills and maybe getting an IUD in advance of the Trump administration coming into power?
Well, I think one thing, Joy, that all women should recognize is it depends on what state you're in, first of all. I mean, we have roughly half the states of this country working and expanding protections for things like reproductive health and freedom. And then we have the states that are working very hard, not just to take them away and have taken them away, but also even to consider ways to criminalize not just reproductive health, but even whether you get to potentially help other people get the reproductive health care they need. So I think it's really important for women to look at where they are and what their laws and protections are and make those choices for themselves. But certainly, to your point, we have so many women and girls, remember, it's also young people, who are in states for which it will matter tremendously if the Trump administration, incoming administration, does what Project 2025 suggests it does, and we have every reason to believe it will, which is use the power of the executive branch to say, we don't care if it's safe, we don't care if it's tested, we don't care what the science says, we don't care that over half of women who have abortions use this medically proven safe pill to help them control their reproductive health and futures. We're going to say it's an obscenity to mail it to other states. And so for women in those places, I think it's incredibly important, and a lot of women already are, figuring out how to get access to it and stockpile it. But I think we also have to remember that for all the women who are in states that do not have this fear, and there are many, we have to consider ways in which we are providing support networks for those women who do.
But what are the risks of, the administration not only enforcing the Comstock Act, which you just described, basically making mifepristone illegal to mail, but also start enforcing things like allowing prosecution state to state. So if you're in Texas and you go to New Mexico to get abortion services, when you return home to Texas, you get prosecuted. What is the risk that women could, even if they live in a blue state that's protecting them, still wind up prosecuted for helping a woman get an abortion?
Yeah, like this is a place, Joy, where we just can't stop fighting, and women aren't, and all our allies are. But here's the thing, you've gone straight to the heart of what's at stake here with weaponizing government against our people and on fundamental rights. Because right now in the Biden administration, for instance, the Department of Justice said when, we have two states that have passed laws that say, oh, well, we're going to call it a crime if you help a minor cross the border to get an abortion without the consent of the parents. Now, they're trying very hard in that instance to try to skirt around the fact that we have a lot of recognition in our case law that you can't criminalize people crossing borders to do something they have a legal right to do. In this case, they're being cute, but the Department of Justice stood up and said, oh, no. We, as the United States government, believe that is wrong and unconstitutional. We're going to get involved. So imagine now you've got whoever Donald Trump ends up with leading the Department of Justice, which will be someone who will be a yes person to anything that Donald Trump wants. And this is where it goes. You can imagine the federal government using its weight and its resources to support the criminalization of people and women. And that is devastating.
There were two other quick questions. Number one, what is the risk that Clarence Thomas will follow through on what he said he would like to do, which is to also go after the Supreme Court ruling that made birth control legal? In other words, returning that to the states so that some states could actually have birth control be illegal. And what do you believe is the risk that no-fault divorce will also go away as a legal option for women?
Look, I think what we can expect is all the forces that are trying to impose religious belief on the bodies of women and girls to come hard for our rights. But I think here's the thing, whether or not we let them is the question. And there's so many of us who are fighting to say, no, you can't, no, you won't. And remember, states matter here, because right now we have a lot of states protecting rights. We need those states to continue not just to aggressively protect women in those states, but we need women who are in those states to be protecting the almost half of women who are Latina, for example, or Black, who are in states that do not. And remember, it's also coming for healthcare access, cutting Medicaid. This is also about whether you get basic healthcare. So I just think if they keep going for these fundamental rights, these basic things we've all come to expect, things that some of the people who voted for this incoming administration don't believe is going to happen, we're going to have not just a world of hurt, we're going to have a world of anger, and we're going to act.
That was the video for today. Let me know in the comments how you feel after watching this video. How you been feeling? If you've been stressed, definitely take some time for yourself mentally. Do something you enjoy every day. Don't be like, oh yeah, once a week. You got to be happy every day. You got to, you're going to feel everything every day. As much as, you try and keep a smile on your face, you got to admit when things seem rough or hard or it seem like something you can't overcome. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to acknowledge that feeling, but it's up to you every time to keep pushing, keep going, one step forward. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Go check out my homie's channel, Ion, with their van life. Make sure they doing good. Check on them. Subscribe. My cousin's channel, I Be Ballin' Basketball Show. She drops weekly sports news. Whoopi Goldberg, if you're watching this, they're like, bro, what? Let me cook. Let me cook. I see Whoopi just started a brand new women's sports channel, TV show platform just for women's sports. So shout out to Whoopi for that and the people and the team that came together for that great idea, and it's out in fruition now. But yeah, go check out my cousin I Be Ballin' Basketball Show. I want them to collab one day. It's already out there. Put it out there. Whenever that happens, it happens. But make sure you keep a smile on your face. Like, comment, subscribe. And if something you want me to tune into, let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Hit me up. And drink your water. Drink your water. And I hope y'all have a nice, the holidays coming up this week. I'm dropping every day. So yeah, y'all see me here. I ain't going nowhere.